Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, 7 a.m. here on the East Coast, and I hope you guys were reading some of our reviews here. We've got tons of reviews from our community members, even some free lounge members who have been sort of hanging out with us for the last couple of months, who have seen really incredible benefits of just being in our community, right? So free lounge, again, if you haven't been familiar with our videos, our YouTube videos, the BTC analysis that I do every day, I post videos for the public every single day, and I announce some trades, maybe some BTC analysis for the free lounge, maybe once a day, once every other day. And this is the free lounge right here, community discussion, and all the locked channels right here are for our Advantage members, which is Cryptosomniac, Cryptosomniac.com. All right there. And products page, and then you can buy the Advantage right there. Okay. Now, starting next week, folks, if you aren't familiar with my videos, I've been doing them every single day, the Bitcoin analysis videos for free for the public. Starting next week, only Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will be doing them for free for the public. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes I do videos on Saturdays and Sundays as well, but those are only for my Advantage members, the ones with the locked channels right here. Again, Advantage you could buy right here, or you could buy the technical analysis course. We actually cut down the price on it, so if you click on it right here, and even if you add it to cart, I think it's only going to be $9.99 or $10.99, as you can see. Okay, so if you just click on it today, you will get 7 free days in the Advantage program, which are all the locked channels right here. So let me show you one of the benefits of this Advantage membership. Okay, so here's the short-term channel right here, and yesterday I was even though I was mobile, I stated this right here. Okay, I said we were at 11,717. I said, more than likely we'll probably hit this rising 4-hour trend line, right? And I said the marker would probably be somewhere around 11,193. Okay, I wanted to show you guys exactly where we hit. Okay, so yesterday you could see the low of this wick is actually right there. Okay, look at that, $11,204. That was off by about 10 or 11 bucks. But if you place some orders in this range, right, you would be up from here already. You'd be up about 3.5%. But let's just say you missed that mark, or you were too scared because the market was falling. Again, I mentioned that, hey, look, we're hitting that same trend line like I mentioned a couple hours ago. Okay, this is the benefits of being in the Advantage program, is you can see basically in real time how I'm updating my Advantage members with constant updates, and letting people know that, all right, I mentioned this a couple hours ago, here are some actionable steps. Okay, I provided a free trade setup right here. All right, I said here's a free scalp from 11,400 to 11,600 or so. Easy money right there, right? So even if you didn't catch the bottom of this wick down here like I mentioned, even if you caught the middle of this, okay, so say from 11,400 or so, right? So from here to here, again, another easy 1.8%. All right, so the point is that some of these scalps are easy money, and this is something that I just provide as analysis, not investment advice or anything. I just tell you that here's an easy opportunity. Up to you if you want to take it or not, right? I mean, I took it. I got a nice little gain out of it, and I know other community members did, as you saw earlier, right? I provide tons of opportunities for my community members, and you can see all of them see huge benefits in just either taking quick scalps, or we sometimes take swing trades, and they're all available in here. Okay, in these channels right here, the lock channels. And every single day I open different positions, and I let people know here are my open positions currently. Okay, and whether they're short term, meaning a few days to a few weeks, whether they're medium term, which is a few weeks to a few months, or long term, which is many months to maybe a year or so. Okay, And obviously we have the Bitcoin analysis channel right here. And you can see, like I said, I provide many updates through the day, letting people know exactly what I'm seeing in the market, where I'm thinking about doubling down, where I'm thinking about setting stops, where I'm thinking about taking profits. Everything is visible in our community, so you have nothing left to chance. You're not just blindly in this market. Okay, I think that's probably one of the faults of many other communities is they'll provide you, just a trade, and most of the time they're garbage shitcoins anyway. But here we try to go for the high quality trades with good risk to reward ratios, and then we understand where to place our stops, where to take profit, where to even double down sometimes, right? So anyway, point is that we are basically coming back up into this $11,600 area in Bitcoin, right? And as you can see, I'm not surprised by any sense that we're kind of using this area as a bit of resistance. But what you could say is we're doing something like this, okay? Something like that. And we might be creating something like this. Something like a, I don't know, maybe an ascending triangle right here. Price is really trying to tighten up and, blast off, okay? For the most part, I did actually double down over here, okay? And because as I mentioned, I was looking at this trend line. If prices would have fallen to this level right here too, maybe 11,100, 11,200, I definitely would have bought more right there too, okay? But we didn't fall that far. I bet there was a lot of people who were just waiting for this level, and I bet you some market movers really decided that, hey, let's just screw over everyone. Let's just drag this thing to the middle of this range, make everyone sort of sell, thinking that they're going to buy lower down here, but then let's just let them sell into our buy walls. And they picked up all the BTC right here, and now they're just going to drive the market higher. Okay, I'm just saying that's a possibility, right? And so that's all we can really do is trade on possibilities. I'm still bullish on this market. There's nothing that has changed. This is a decent daily candle closing. Honestly, this is much better than this. I'll tell you that much. This is a big sort of bearish engulfing, big shakeout right here. And then obviously a follow-up candle, which was really bearish. Now, if this candle right here taps the 11,100 or 11,000 region and closes under it, right, this current daily candle, then I'm worried. Okay, then I'm definitely worried, because then that means that more than likely, we are looking weaker than we thought. This might then turn out into a bigger correction, okay? Remember I mentioned the WXY correction. Here's another way to look at the WXY, which is, it could be, I don't know, this could be your W, this could be your X, and your Y is, you're still in the middle of your Y technically, which could stretch out down here, okay? And the reason I mark it down here is, I don't think we should be going any lower than 75, 7,400, because that was really the low of this area right here. But again, all of this is speculation, right? And speculation really in way down the road. I don't see anything wrong with this current structure that would not allow us to sort of go like this. I'm sorry, let me pick up something else. And just go like this, consolidate right here, push out, and maybe even keep on moving further and further. All right, okay. So the point is that, nothing wrong with this daily candle spread right now. I even looked at the volume yesterday, and I'm really, really glad. I'll show you one thing, all right? I'm really, really glad that the volume, this is the wrong, BitMEX doesn't have volume. Let me pull up Kraken. Here's the volume. Well, one thing I was glad about is, if you look on the 4-hour volume spread right here, all of it is really just declining. It's nothing, high in terms of sell side volume, okay? If you look back here, all this, much lower, right? Much lower right here compared to the start of the sell-off, the start off of this sell-off, and even the start off of this sell-off. Like lots of clustered, volume candles, right? Volume bars. Nothing too big right here. So I'm really happy about that. And even on the daily chart, I would say that's visible, right? You can see this volume stick right here is higher than these, but much lower than these right here. So it kind of tells me that maybe there's just not enough left to sell off in this market, and this could be your brief consolidation period. Maybe this right here is analogous to this right here, okay, before another big push that's coming up in the market. So, it remains to be seen exactly where the market is heading, but I think it's going to be, a big month of either mid-August or late August that's coming up the rest of the month. And I don't expect, 9100 or any of those levels down here to hit anytime soon. I mean, personally, if that happens, then we're looking for a really, grim September. Well, maybe a grim September, but definitely a grim August, right? So I guess you could look at this white trend line as well, which price was bouncing off this area. Let me see, the daily is a little bit better to see that on. I'm gonna turn the volume off. Touch right there, touch right there, touch right there. So you can see another touch right there, and a couple touches right here in the red and the green. So I guess, at some point, I don't know, if this thing keeps on moving up like this, at some point, when we get up to 14 or 15,000, maybe we can just randomly test a big sharp candle all the way down to 11.2, maybe 11.3, which again should be, our prices should not be going deeper than this area right here, which is, this red marker, as you can see, about 11,000. Okay, because that's where things would get really scary, because a lot of resistance was actually chewed through in this area, and this is basically turned support. I would say if you look on these wicks right here, that's basically testing this area as support, and now we're ready to try to keep on moving up. All right. Again, in the Discord, the Cryptosomniac Discord, I had mentioned all of this yesterday in our updates for the community. I even mentioned, some quick trade setups, some quick scalps that I was taking from here, from 11,400 to 600. That was really an easy trade. I also did mention this, wave count right here that I'm still looking at, as you can see right here. Right, so if this is the 4 right here, I think we're readying up for the 5. So if this is, say, the 3, this is the 4, we are readying for the 5. All right, and the 5 could take us at the very least maybe to about 12,800, 12,900, or it could take us towards this previous high, about 13,800 or 900, wherever that was. Okay, so this wave 5 is going to be really interesting because, personally, I am still of the belief that this is 1, 2, big 3, quick 4, and then sharp 5. So I'm hoping that this 5 at the very least gets us to about 12,800, and then we have our quick A, B, C correction, maybe back towards 11,100 or something, and then we start another big, consecutive wave count. Okay. Again, if you don't understand Elliott wave counts, buy this course right here. All right. You obviously have one more day to buy it for $10. You can see right here, $10.99. I'm pretty sure by the time you go to checkout, I think it's $9.99. So keep an eye on that. All right, folks. It's the best I could do, in terms of putting together a technical course that, again, helps you understand how to apply indicators, understand Japanese candlesticks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Japanese candlesticks, but when I say, hey, here's a bearish engulfing right here, or here is a, I don't know, maybe this is basically an indecision candle right here, but here's a flag, or here's a inverted hammer, or here's a doji, here's a potential hammer, right? Here's another hammer, or tweezer bottoms. Okay, so all of this right here is mentioned in these Japanese candlesticks. okay? And then you understand moving averages, okay? Again, best indicators to use, how to identify support and resistance levels, how to use Fibonacci levels, right? I'm sure you guys see me often use Fibonacci. So let me show you another sort of, magical trick about fib levels, okay? So if we look at this run up that we've had, okay? Let me see if I can map a fib on this thing. All right, so from down here till up top. All right, and then I'm gonna turn on the 236, 32, and the 618. All right. So you could see that at the very least, even if you caught the bounce of the 236 fib level right here, okay, and prices kept that moving up, that would be a really good fib level for you to get in on. Okay, so basically it means that from this bottom to this high, you have now pulled down about 23.6% from this high right here. Okay, of this entire range right here. All right, so you're basically getting a discount if you miss this entire move right here, and if you wanted to buy in at this level. This is why fib levels are so important, because more often than not, price does tend to respect them, right? Let me see, another thing that we could do is, let me see if it works out over here, right, from this low to this high. Okay, so I would say this is another area where, actually this is probably a little bit better. Okay, there we go. So from this low right here, all right, to this high, okay, you can see again that if you had mapped out this fib right here for this move, right, this more local move, all right, and you could see that you could have bought in right at the 618 fib support, about 11,245, right? And now prices moved on from one fib level to the next one. The next big one was 382, and then again prices coming back down to the 50 fib and trying to break through that 382 level again, right? So fib levels work on different time frames, on different structures, and they're very useful, especially if you use them in complement with understanding horizontal support and resistance levels, also understanding let's see, divergences, right? So one thing that I spotted, so for example, I mentioned BNB yesterday, right? Again, this is part of our advantage community. This is a bullish divergence, right? So this is a lower low right here on the RSI, I'm sorry, the price, and the higher low right here on the RSI, right? So if we go down here, all right, to education, you can see lower low on price, higher low on the RSI. Okay, so at some point I'm expecting BNB BTC to pop, and also the fact that this area right here has a decent amount of support from this particular order block right here, which help push prices much higher. Okay, I'm also looking at the pivots, and price was hitting the S1 perfectly. Okay, as you can see right there, price hit S1 perfectly, and I'm expecting BNB to bounce up nicely from this. Okay, so we'll see exactly how high BNB bounces up to. I would be willing to bet that BNB is going to do really well in the maybe in the next few days, maybe the next few weeks, especially given the fact that it's come near support. Even if it doesn't get up all the way over here, even if it climbs from here to the pivot, I mean that's another 19-20%, right? So if you got in right now, it's a 20% move. Again, I'm not stating financial advice. I'm just saying that this is what I'm doing. I'm picking up some BNB right here, basically buying the bottom right here. I'm probably going to be setting my stop just a bit deeper, maybe like this marker right here, about 219. Okay, so keep that in mind if you are interested. Aside from that, here's a larger pitchfork again. I've mentioned this many times in my analyses. You can see that price hit the median perfectly in yesterday's daily candle, and we came back down. Now we're trying to bounce off this. I think the orange is, I forgot what rung that is. Oh, the gold. Okay, so that's a 0.25 fib level. That's this level right here. Okay, so we're trying to bounce off that and then, you know, try to drive prices a bit higher in terms of this big pitchfork. Okay, so if that does happen, our next resistance level from here, if we bounce up, will probably be up here. So about 13,200 or so. If we went straight up in the next, you know, daily or 2 days of candles. All right, so it'd be about 13,200 if we hit the next level in terms of the pitchfork rungs. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, folks. Let's see what else. Actually, this is really interesting. I don't know why the BTC shorts are climbing. Let me see. Oh, this is, I don't know what that is. Let's see, BTC Super UST shorts. There we go. Let's see how the shorts are doing. So shorts have really just capitulated all the way down, and again, these short levels will probably try to hit, you know, this resistance level right here and probably get rejected. And I'm betting that once shorts climb up to this area, I would not be surprised. Prices, you know, really just capitulating on the shorts. I would say this was really the perfect storm for you know, the shorts to be liquidated right here, especially when BTC pumped all the way in on June 26th, all the way to about 13,900 or so, right? So this was the perfect way to just kill the shorts. And now, I mean, we're not even that high in terms of shorts. I guess you could make the argument that, you know, because we're not high in shorts, there's nothing to liquidate in terms of, you know, people who are shorting, and those short squeezes are not going to positively affect the spot market, meaning that if there's no shorts to liquidate, then the market doesn't have an incentive, an external push to drive prices higher. I mean, I think that's a fair point, but I think this market has been, you know, driven higher not by most retailers just shorting. I think there's a lot of professionals, a lot of institutions, smart money who's stepped into this market, and they're really just, honestly, they're just buying up the supply. Like there's no, you know, no other incentive that they need. I think they just want to buy up as much of this asset as possible. And, you know, like I've mentioned many times before, once we start getting up into the higher time frames, like the weekly chart, you could see that we're not really that far from the all-time high. You know, the 19 or 20K is not that high. And once we get past that, I mean, everything up here is price discovery. There's really no quote-unquote like previous supply left, because a lot of, you know, this right here is probably going to be bought up, right, by smart money, and to drive it higher and then sell it back to the retailers much higher is probably going to be anywhere between 30 or 40K possibly, right? So from here on, I mean, you know, by the end of the year, I don't think it's impossible to predict, you know, close to, I don't know, this right here, which is like 25 to 30K. These are some of the markers that I had set out. Obviously, my markers are a little bit more conservative because I stated that, you know, we'd get to 10,000 by July, mid-July. I said by mid-November we'd get to about 13.9. I stated by March 2020 then we'd be at 21,000. But clearly, the trend right now is far more accelerated than what I've drawn up. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's impossible to see prices, you know, just keep rising consistently towards 20K and then maybe 30K, right? Let's see. We looked over this. We looked over this big regular flat correction. I'm still, you know, fairly confident that this is turning out to be a nice zigzag Elliott wave count, the 1 through 5. I don't see anything in terms of inconsistencies that is going to break 11,100. Like I said, if that does happen, then we're looking to honestly be in a deeper correction. I personally would want to short because I would not be surprised if prices come down here again towards low to mid 9,000s, maybe even high 9,000s, or sorry, high 8,000s. Let's see. Let me see how Ether is doing. Here's ETH again, trying its best to hit this resistance area right here. This is about $240 or so. I mentioned this a few days ago. So if you listened, you would have sold this resistance and you would have bought in even cheaper now. Okay, so remember, keep in mind that if you don't understand technicals, right, and you don't understand exactly how to be a trader, just understand this, okay? Trading technicals is all about simply buying support, selling resistance, keeping your emotions out of the market, being able to understand the supply and demand economics of what's happening in the market, and understanding the larger narrative at play. Keep your emotions out of it. Stop thinking that, oh, if I just hold on, prices will go higher. Don't do that. Sell resistance, buy support. Keep it simple. Okay? Again, if you don't understand that, get the Trading Basics Technical Analysis course that I developed. All right? Only $10 for the next day or so. It'll give you access to our Advantage community for the next 7 days for free. Or you could just buy the Advantage program and then you can get the next month for free, because I honestly believe August is going to be a fantastic month. So if you go over here, Cryptosomniac Advantage, click Get Advantage, and just message me if you don't have permissions once you do buy, and I'll get you in. All right. So we discussed all the different channels that we have, all the benefits that members are seeing. I've told you for levels to look out for in terms of BTC. 11,000 is really the line in the sand. This is really honestly a consolidation before a push up, in my opinion, right here, what we're experiencing right now. So I would not be surprised if we just kept on moving up for that wave 5. Another level to watch is this white trend line as it comes up, maybe in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the next month or two. So let's see. Talk about that. I wonder if there's anything else in my notes that I want to talk about. I would say that's it. I hope you guys are enjoying my free analyses, folks. Like I said, starting next week, only Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will be doing public analysis. If you do want to come join the Advantage program, you could join right here, Cryptosomniac, and then you can have access to all the locked channels. Only Tuesdays and Thursdays will be free analysis like I'm doing today. And for the most part, obviously, other than analysis in my community, I provide tons of trade setups. We have an entire bear channel where we provide short trade setups, where if you like shorting, we can, provide tons of setups for shorts. We provide all kinds of other trade setups, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or BNB or anything, really. Okay? All right, folks, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Come join Cryptosomniac, and I will see you all soon. Cheers.